Welcome back to Coin Reveal USA, where we uncover the history, value, and hidden details behind American coins. Today, we are taking a close look at a fascinating modern dollar coin that many people recognize by its golden color and famous Sacagawea portrait. It is the 2011 Wampanoag Treaty 1621 Native American Dollar. If you have one of these coins in your collection, don't spend it before checking the date, the D mint mark, the condition, and especially the edge lettering. In this video, we are going to explore the history of this coin, its design, specifications, mint mark, condition, and realistic market value today. The coin we are looking at is officially part of the United States Mint's Native American $1 coin program. Although many collectors still call these coins Sacagawea Dollars because the obverse continues the familiar Sacagawea design, the 2011 issue is officially a Native American $1 coin. The obverse shows Sacagawea carrying her infant son, Jean-Baptiste. This design was originally introduced in 2000 and continued on the Native American Dollar series. On the obverse, you will see the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." The reverse is completely different and is the reason this particular coin is known as the Wampanoag Treaty 1621 Dollar. Now let's talk about the history behind the reverse design. The 2011 coin honors Supreme Sachem Wassamequin, also known as Massasoit of the Great Wampanoag Nation, and the alliance created with settlers at Plymouth Bay in 1621. The United States Mint explains that the reverse shows the hands of Wassamequin and Governor John Carver symbolically offering a ceremonial peace pipe following the initiation of the alliance. The reverse also carries the inscriptions United States of America, $1, and Wampanoag Treaty 1621. This gives the coin much more historical meaning than simply being a $1 piece. If you flip the coin over and look closely at the edge, you will find another important feature. Unlike traditional U.S. coins that usually have a plain or reeded edge, this Native American dollar has a lettered edge. The edge includes the year, mint mark, and e pluribus unum. This is one of the first things I recommend checking when you find one of these coins. On your example, the D mint mark indicates that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. The United States Mint confirms that the 2011 Native American dollar was produced at both the Denver and Philadelphia facilities. The physical specifications are also interesting. The coin weighs about 8.1 grams, measures approximately 26.49 millimeters across, and is about 2 millimeters thick. It has a distinctive golden color, but don't make the mistake of thinking this coin is made of gold. Its composition is approximately 88.5% copper, 6% zinc, 3.5% manganese, and 2% nickel. So the golden appearance comes from its alloy and finish, not from precious metal content. Now let's get to the question that most collectors want answered. What is a 2011 Wampanoag Treaty 1621 Sacagawea Dollar worth today? The answer depends heavily on condition. If you have an ordinary circulated example in good condition, its value is generally close to its 150 value. NGC's current guide for the 2011 Native American dollar indicates that circulated examples of the corresponding issue can carry only a small premium over face value, while pristine uncirculated examples can be worth substantially more depending on grade and market demand. For a normal 2011 coin that has been used in circulation and shows scratches, contact marks, dullness, or other signs of wear, I would be very careful about believing dramatic online claims of hundreds or thousands of dollars. Many online listings ask extremely high prices, but an asking price is not the same thing as an actual completed sale. For example, recent market data shows ordinary uncirculated 2011 Wampanoag Treaty examples selling around $5 in some transactions. However, this is where coin collecting gets interesting. A normal circulated coin may be worth around face value, but a high-grade example can be a completely different story. Great collections record sales of certified 2011 Wampanoag Treaty position. Examples ranging from about $8 to more than $400 across grades from MS65 through MS69. That doesn't mean every 2011 dollar is worth hundreds of dollars. Those results involve certified coins in exceptional grades and a specific edge lettering position variety.so. If your coin is simply in good circulated condition, a realistic expectation is approximately $1. perhaps a small premium depending on the buyer and exact condition. If it is bright, uncirculated, and free from significant marks, it may be worth several dollars or more. If it is professionally graded in an extremely high mint state grade, or if it has a genuine collectible variety or mint error, the value can rise considerably. The key is that condition and authentication make a huge difference. Before you decide to sell your coin, inspect it carefully. Look at Sacagawea's portrait and check for heavy wear. Examine the reverse design and make sure the lettering is sharp. Then rotate the coin and inspect the entire edge. Look for unusual edge lettering, doubled characters, missing letters, unusual spacing, or other features that appear different from a normal example. Genuine mint errors can sometimes bring significant premiums, but ordinary damage caused after the coin left the mint should not automatically be considered an error. Another important warning is never clean the coin. If you find a 2011D Wampanoag Treaty Dollar that looks dirty or dark, do not polish it, scrub it, or use chemicals to make it shine. Cleaning can leave scratches and unnatural surfaces that may reduce the coin's collector appeal. Instead, hold the coin by its edges and place it in a proper protective holder. And remember, the 2011D coin is part of a much larger story. The Native American $1 program began in 2009, with new reverse designs honoring important Native American history and contributions. The 2011 Wampanoag Treaty design is one chapter in that continuing series. The U.S. Mint describes the program as a way of celebrating important contributions made by Indian tribes and individual Native Americans to American history and development. So, let's summarize the 2011D Wampanoag Treaty $1,621. It is a modern U.S. Native American $1 coin with the familiar Sacagawea obverse. It was struck at the Denver Mint when it carries the D Mint mark. The reverse honors the 1621 alliance between Supreme Sachem Wassamequin of the Wampanoag Nation and settlers at Plymouth Bay. It weighs approximately 8.1 grams, has a golden-colored copper-based composition, and features a lettered edge. For an ordinary circulated example in good condition, don't expect a fortune. Its realistic value is generally around its $1 face value, with only a modest premium possible. But if you have an uncirculated example with excellent surfaces, an exceptional certified grade, or a genuine variety or mint error, that's when you should take a much closer look. High-grade certified examples have demonstrated that this series can attract much stronger prices than ordinary circulated coins. So the next time you find a golden dollar coin, don't automatically spend it. Turn it over. Check the year. Look for the D Mint mark. Inspect the Wampanoag Treaty 1621 inscription. And most importantly, examine that lettered edge. You might not have a fortune, but you could have a beautiful and historically important piece of modern American coinage. Next up, the 2009D Sacagawea Dollar, also known as the 2009D Native American Dollar. If you have one of these golden-colored coins, don't spend it too quickly, because the 2009 issue is especially interesting. It was the first year of the Native American Dollar series, and the reverse introduced a completely new design honoring Native American contributions to American history. In this video, we are going to look at the coin's history, design, D Mint mark, condition, varieties, and most importantly, its realistic value in today's market. The 2009D Sacagawea Dollar was struck at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the letter D on the coin's edge. The coin has the familiar portrait of Sacagawea on the obverse, carrying her infant son, Jean-Baptiste. This portrait was originally designed by Glenna Goodacre and remained on the dollar when the United States Mint began changing the reverse design every year. Starting in 2009, the coin became part of the Native American Dollar program, with each year's reverse honoring important Native American people, events, or contributions. PCGS, the 2009 reverse, is known as the Three Sisters design. It shows three important crops associated with Native American agriculture: corn, beans, and squash. These crops are often referred to together as the Three Sisters because of the way they could be grown together and support one another. The design is historically important because it represents Native American agricultural knowledge and the contribution of indigenous communities to American history. The reverse also includes United States of America and the $1 denomination. This makes the 2009 coin particularly important because it introduced the new annual reverse design tradition of the Native American Dollar series. Now let's talk about the specifications. The 2090 dollar has a diameter of approximately 26.5 millimeters and weighs about 8.1 grams. It has a distinctive golden appearance, but this coin is not made of gold. Its composition is approximately 88.5% copper, 6% zinc, 3.5% manganese, and 2% nickel. The edge is lettered rather than plain or reeded, and the date and mint mark are found on the edge of the coin. PCGS, the Denver Mint, produced approximately 35.7 million examples of the 2090 Native American dollar. That sounds like a large number, and it is one reason an ordinary circulated 2090 coin is not considered extremely rare. PCGS notes that the coin is very common in circulated grades and remains common even through MS68. However, the story becomes more interesting when you start looking at very high mint state grades. PCGS reports that MS66 examples are more difficult to find, while MS67 examples are scarce, with fewer than 200 known in its referenced population at the time of its report. PCGS. So now comes the question every coin collector wants answered: how much is a 2090 Sacagawea dollar worth today? If your coin has been circulated and shows normal scratches, contact marks, dull surfaces, or signs of wear, its value is generally close to its 2000 value. You should not assume that every 2090 Sacagawea dollar is worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Online asking prices can be misleading because sellers can list coins for almost any amount. What matters much more is the actual condition of the coin, whether it has a recognized variety or error, and what collectors are actually willing to pay. For uncirculated examples, the value can be higher. USA Coin Book currently estimates the 2090 Three Sisters Agriculture variety at about $625 or more in uncirculated MS condition. APMEX's current guide gives approximate values ranging from around $100 for lower uncirculated examples to about $320 for MS67. Although market prices can change and different varieties or grading standards can produce different results. Opening parenthesis usacoinbook.com APMEX.com. But there is an important detail that serious collectors should know. The 2090 Native American dollar exists in two major edge lettering positions, commonly called Position A and Position B. These positions refer to how the lettering on the edge is oriented in relation to the coin's obverse and reverse. PCGS catalogs both 2090 Position A and Position B as separate varieties. Opening parenthesis PCGS.com PCGS. This is one reason the edge of your coin deserves special attention. Don't only look at the front and back. Carefully inspect the edge and the position of the lettering. If you believe you have a variety, compare it with reliable reference photographs or have the coin examined by a professional numismatist. A variety is different from damage. Scratches, dents, flattened lettering, and marks caused after the coin left the mint generally do not make a coin a valuable mint error. Another major factor is condition. Imagine two 2090 dollars sitting side by side. One has been carried around in someone's pocket for years, with scratches and wear across the surfaces. The other has brilliant original luster, sharp details, and almost no contact marks. Even though both coins have the same date and mint, their collector values can be dramatically different. That is why professional grading becomes important when a coin appears exceptionally well preserved. In fact, the highest grade examples can be surprisingly valuable. PCGS records an auction record of $1,995 for a 2090 Position A example graded MS69, although that is an exceptional result and should not be treated as the normal value of the coin. Most 2090 dollars will never come close to that amount. PCGS. There is another important warning for anyone searching for valuable Sacagawea dollars: never clean your coin. If your 2090 dollar looks dirty, dark, or discolored, don't polish it and don't use chemicals or abrasive materials. Cleaning can leave permanent hairline scratches and unnatural surfaces. Collectors generally prefer coins with original surfaces. If you think your coin may be valuable, handle it carefully by the edges and place it in a protective holder. Let's take a quick look at what makes the 2090 issue special. First, it is the first year of the Native American Dollar program. Second, it introduced the Three Sisters Reverse design, celebrating Native American agriculture. Third, it carries the Denver D mint mark on its lettered edge. Fourth, it has two major edge lettering positions that collectors can study. And finally, while ordinary circulated examples are common, Extremely high-grade coins can be much scarcer and considerably more valuable. So what should you do if you find a 2009 Sacagawea Dollar in your collection? Start by checking the date. Then confirm that it is the Denver issue. Next, examine the obverse and reverse for wear and contact marks. After that, carefully inspect the edge lettering and look for the edge lettering position. Finally, if the coin appears to be in exceptional uncirculated condition or shows an unusual feature, consider having it evaluated by a reputable coin dealer or professional grading service. Now let's give you a realistic value range. For an ordinary circulated 2009 Sacagawea Dollar, expect approximately $1 in normal value, with any premium depending on the exact condition and buyer demand. For an attractive uncirculated example, current guides indicate values around several dollars, with approximately $625 or more cited by USA Coin Book for uncirculated examples. Some higher grade coins can bring substantially more, and certified MS68 examples have sold for tens of dollars, while an exceptional MS69 example has a recorded auction result of $1,995. Opening parenthesis usacoinbook.com. PGCom. The biggest lesson is this: don't judge a coin's value simply by its age or its golden appearance. The 2009 Sacagawea Dollar is a modern coin, but it can still be interesting to collectors because of its historical importance, annual reverse design, edge lettering, varieties, and condition rarity. Most examples are not worth a fortune, but exceptional examples can be a completely different story. So, the next time you see a golden dollar coin, take a second look before spending it. Check the date. Check the D mint mark. Study the Three Sisters reverse. Examine the edge lettering. And most importantly, look closely at the condition. You never know when an ordinary-looking coin could turn out to be a scarce high-grade example or an interesting variety. Next up, the 2009p Sacagawea Dollar, also officially known as the 2009p Native American Dollar. If you have this golden-colored dollar coin, don't spend it before taking a close look, because 2009 was a very important year for this series. It was the first year of the Native American Dollar program, and the reverse introduced a new design honoring Native American agricultural knowledge. In this video, we will examine the 2009p coin, its P mint mark, the Three Sisters design, its edge lettering, varieties, condition, and most importantly, its realistic value in today's market. The 2009p Sacagawea Dollar was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is represented by the letter P on the edge of the coin. The obverse continues the famous Sacagawea portrait carrying her infant son, Jean-Baptiste. This portrait was originally introduced on the Sacagawea Dollar in 2000 and continued when the coin became part of the Native American Dollar series. The 2009 issue was the beginning of a new tradition in which the reverse design would change each year to recognize important Native American people, events, cultures, and contributions to the history of the United States. Now let's talk about the beautiful reverse design. The 2009 reverse is called the Three Sisters Agriculture Design. It shows a Native American woman planting seeds in a field, with corn, beans, and squash represented in the design. These three crops are traditionally known as the Three Sisters because they could be grown together in a complementary agricultural system. This design was chosen to recognize Native American agricultural knowledge and its importance in American history. That makes the 2009 coin historically significant, because it introduced the annual reverse design concept of the Native American Dollar series. The 2009p coin has a diameter of approximately 26.5 millimeters and weighs about 8.1 grams. It has a golden appearance, but this does not mean that the coin is made from gold. Its composition is approximately 88.5% copper, 6% zinc, 3.5% manganese, and 2% nickel. The coin also has a lettered edge, which is one of the most interesting features collectors should examine. The date, mint mark, and the motto E pluribus unum appear around the edge rather than on the front or reverse. So how many 2009p coins were made? USA Coin Book lists a mintage of approximately 39.2 million regular strike 2009p coins. That is a large production number, which means an ordinary circulated example is not considered extremely rare. However, high-grade examples are a completely different story. PCGS lists separate Position A and Position B varieties for the 2009p issue, and it also recognizes several unusual edge lettering errors. Now let's get to the question everyone wants answered. What is a 2009p Sacagawea dollar worth today? If your coin has circulated and shows normal scratches, contact marks, or wear, its realistic value is generally around its 500 value. An asking price is not the same as an actual selling price, and most ordinary circulated examples do not bring huge premiums. For an uncirculated 2009p example, the value can be higher. USA Coin Book currently estimates the regular 2009p Three Sisters Agriculture dollar at approximately $625 or more in uncirculated MS condition. Recent raw uncirculated examples listed on the same market page have appeared around roughly $187 to $300, showing that actual prices can vary considerably depending on the coin's condition and the seller. But here is where things get very interesting. The 2009p dollar has two major edge lettering positions known as Position A and Position B. In Position A, the edge inscriptions are oriented upside down when the obverse is facing upward. In Position B, the edge inscriptions read correctly when the obverse is facing upward. These are recognized collecting varieties, so if you own a 2009p coin, examining the edge can be worthwhile. There are also recognized edge lettering errors for the 2009 Native American Dollar series, including missing edge lettering, partial edge lettering, weak edge lettering, and doubled or overlapping edge lettering. These are not the same as ordinary damage. If the unusual feature was created during the minting process and can be authenticated as a genuine mint error, it can potentially add a significant premium. PCGS specifically catalogs these types of edge errors for the 2009p series. Condition is another major factor. Imagine you have two identical 2009p Sacagawea dollars. One has spent years circulating through stores, vending machines, and people's pockets. It has scratches, contact marks, and dull surfaces. The other coin has never circulated and still has strong original luster with very few marks. Although both coins have the same date and mint mark, the second coin could be considerably more desirable to collectors. This is why you should never clean your 2009p dollar. If the coin looks dirty, dark, or discolored, don't polish it and don't use chemicals or abrasive materials. Cleaning can create scratches and permanently damage the original surface. Instead, hold the coin by its edges and store it in a proper protective holder. If you believe you have an exceptional coin or a genuine mint error, consider having it examined by a reputable coin dealer or professional grading service. There is also evidence that exceptional high-grade examples can be worth dramatically more than ordinary coins. PCGS records an auction result of $1,301 for a 2009p position. An example graded MS68. Another PCGS listing for the Position B variety records an auction result of $695 for a MS68 example. These are exceptional certified coins and should not be used as the expected value for a normal circulated 2009p dollar. So let's make the value guide simple. A normal circulated 2009p Sacagawea dollar is generally worth about $1. A nice uncirculated example can be worth several dollars, with USA Coin Book currently estimating approximately $6.25 or more for an uncirculated MS example. Extremely high-grade certified coins can bring much higher prices, and authenticated mint errors or important varieties can also command premiums. The exact value depends on condition, variety, certification, and what buyers are actually paying at the time of sale. If you have a 2009p dollar in your collection, start by checking the date and confirming the P mint mark. Then study the Sacagawea portrait and the Three Sisters reverse. Next, carefully examine the edge lettering. Look for the date, P mint mark, E pluribus unum, and the orientation of the lettering. If you notice missing, doubled, partial, or unusually weak lettering, don't immediately assume it is valuable. Compare it with reliable references or have it professionally examined. Because post-mint damage can sometimes look similar to a genuine mint error, the 2009p Sacagawea dollar is more than just a $1 coin. It represents the beginning of the Native American dollar program and carries a reverse design honoring Native American agriculture. Its golden color makes it instantly recognizable, while its lettered edge gives collectors another feature to investigate. And although most examples are not rare fortunes, high-grade specimens and genuine varieties show why checking these coins can be worthwhile. So the next time you find a 2009p Sacagawea dollar, don't immediately spend it. Take a closer look. Check the P mint mark. Study the Three Sisters design. Examine the condition. Then turn the coin on its edge and inspect the lettering. You might have an ordinary $1 coin, or you could have a much more interesting example that deserves a place in your collection. Next up, a Sacagawea Dollar from 2001 with a P mint mark. If you have a 2001 Sacagawea Dollar in your collection, don't spend it before checking its condition and looking closely for unusual features. This is an early Sacagawea Dollar from only the second year of the series, and while most examples are not worth a fortune, certain high-grade coins and genuine mint errors can be much more valuable. In this video, we are going to explore the history, design, mintage, condition, and realistic market value of the 2001 Sacagawea Dollar. The 2001 Sacagawea Dollar was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the P mint mark on the edge of the coin. The obverse features the famous portrait of Sacagawea carrying her infant son, Jean-Baptiste. This portrait was designed by Glenna Goodacre and remained on the dollar throughout the Sacagawea and Native American dollar series. The inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" also appear on the obverse. The reverse of the 2001 coin features a soaring American bald eagle surrounded by 17 stars. The stars represent the states in the Union at the time of the Lewis and Clark expedition. The reverse also carries the inscriptions "United States of America" and $1. This eagle design was used on the Sacagawea Dollar from 2000 through 2008. Before the annual Native American reverse designs began in 2009, the 2001 Sacagawea Dollar has the familiar golden appearance that makes these coins easy to recognize. But don't confuse that golden color with real gold. The coin is made from a copper-based manganese brass composition rather than precious metal. It weighs approximately 8.1 grams and measures about 26.5 millimeters in diameter. Like other Sacagawea Dollars, the edge is lettered, and that edge contains some of the most important information about the coin. The 2001 issue had a very large production. Approximately 62,468,000 regular strike Sacagawea Dollars were produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Because of this large mintage, an ordinary circulated 2001 dollar is not considered an extremely rare coin. However, mintage alone does not determine value. Condition, varieties, errors, and collector demand can make a major difference. Now let's answer the question that brought you here. What is a 2001 Sacagawea Dollar worth today? If your 2001 coin has been circulated and shows normal scratches, contact marks, wear, or dull surfaces, its realistic value is usually close to its 500 value. Some circulated examples may sell for a small premium to collectors, but you should assume that every 2001 Sacagawea Dollar is worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Online sellers can list ordinary coins at extremely high prices, but an asking price does mean that someone actually paid that amount. The situation changes when we look at uncirculated coins. A 2001 Sacagawea Dollar that has never circulated and still has strong original luster can be worth more than face value. Coins with fewer contact marks and stronger surfaces are generally more desirable. Professionally graded examples in very high mint state grades can command much stronger prices than ordinary circulated pieces. One of the most important things to check on a 2001 Sacagawea Dollar is the edge lettering. The date, mint mark, and E pluribus unum appear around the edge rather than on the main faces of the coin. This makes the edge an important part of the collecting process. Turn your coin slowly and inspect the entire edge under good lighting. You should look for unusual lettering, missing portions of the edge inscription, doubled lettering, unusual spacing, or other characteristics that appear different from a normal example. But be careful, not every strange-looking edge is a valuable mint error. Coins can suffer damage after leaving the mint, and post-mint damage generally does not create a collectible error premium. If you believe you have a genuine mint error, professional authentication can be extremely important. Another major factor is the condition of your coin. Imagine two 2001 Sacagawea Dollars sitting next to each other. The first has been in circulation for years, with scratches and contact marks across the surfaces. The second looks almost brand new, with brilliant luster and sharp details. Even though both coins are the same date and mint mark, collectors can value them very differently. This is why you should never clean your coin. If your 2001 Sacagawea Dollar looks dirty, dark, or discolored, don't polish it, scrub it, or use chemicals. Cleaning can leave permanent scratches and damage the original surface. Instead, handle the coin carefully by its edges and store it in a proper coin holder. There is another interesting detail about early Sacagawea Dollars. Edge lettering varieties can make individual coins more interesting to collectors. The orientation of the edge lettering can differ because the edge lettering was applied separately from the main coin strike. Collectors therefore examine not only the date and mint mark, but also the position and appearance of the edge lettering. Now let's talk about rare examples. A normal 2001p dollar is not automatically a rare coin. However, genuinely unusual mint errors can sometimes be worth significantly more. Examples of errors can include major striking problems or unusual edge lettering errors. The key word is genuine. A coin that has been scratched, bent, damaged, or altered after leaving the mint should not be confused with a genuine mint error. If you find something unusual, take clear photographs of both sides and the entire edge. Avoid cleaning the coin, and consider showing it to a reputable coin dealer or professional grading service. An authenticated error can be much more desirable than an ordinary example, but authentication is important before assigning a high value. So let's give you a realistic value guide for the 2001p Sacagawea Dollar. If you have an ordinary circulated example in good condition, expect approximately $1, with perhaps a small premium depending on the exact condition and buyer demand. If the coin is uncirculated and attractive, its value can move into the few dollar range or higher. Exceptionally high-grade certified coins and genuine mint errors can bring significantly more, but those are the exceptions rather than the rule, and that's what makes coin collecting so exciting. A coin doesn't have to be extremely old to be collectible. The 2001p Sacagawea Dollar is only a few decades old, but it is an important early issue from one of America's most recognizable modern dollar series. Its Sacagawea portrait, bald eagle reverse, golden color, and lettered edge make it an interesting coin to keep and study. So, if you have a 2001p Sacagawea Dollar, don't throw it into a vending machine or spend it without looking. Check the date. Confirm the P mint mark. Examine the bald eagle reverse. Look closely at the surfaces and condition. Then carefully inspect the edge lettering for anything unusual. Next up, the 2000D Sacagawea Dollar. If you have a $2,000 coin with a D mint mark, don't spend it until you've checked the date, condition, and edge. This is the very first year of the Sacagawea Dollar series, and because of its historic first-year status, collectors continue to pay attention to it. In this video, we'll explore the history, design, mintage, varieties, condition, and realistic market value of the 2000D Sacagawea Dollar. The 2000D Sacagawea Dollar was struck at the Denver Mint, represented by the D mint mark on the edge of the coin. This was the first year the United States Mint released the new golden-colored dollar featuring Sacagawea. The obverse shows the famous portrait of Sacagawea carrying her infant son, Jean-Baptiste. The portrait was designed by artist Glenna Goodacre and became one of the most recognizable images on modern American coinage. The obverse also includes the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Now let's turn the coin over. The original 2000 reverse shows a soaring bald eagle surrounded by 17 stars. The eagle represents the United States, while the 17 stars represent the states in the Union at the time of the Lewis and Clark expedition. The reverse also displays United States of America and $1. This reverse design remained on the Sacagawea Dollar through 2008, before the Native American Dollar program began changing the reverse design every year in 2009. One of the most interesting things about the 2000D Sacagawea Dollar is its distinctive golden color. But don't be fooled into thinking this coin contains gold. The dollar is made primarily from copper, with zinc, manganese, and nickel in its composition. It weighs approximately 8.1 grams and measures about 26.5 millimeters across. The edge is smooth-looking but actually contains important lettering, including the date, mint mark, and E pluribus unum. The Denver Mint produced approximately 767,140,000 Sacagawea dollars in 2000. That's an enormous number of coins. So the normal 2000D Sacagawea Dollar is not a rare coin simply because it is the first year. In fact, millions of examples remain available to collectors today. However, the enormous mintage does not mean every 2000D dollar has the same value. Condition, varieties, and genuine mint errors can make a major difference. So now let's answer the question everyone wants to know. What is a 2000D Sacagawea Dollar worth today? If you have a normal circulated 2000D Sacagawea Dollar with scratches, contact marks, wear, or dull surfaces, its realistic value is generally around 500 value. Some collectors may pay a small premium for attractive circulated examples. But most ordinary circulated coins are not worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. However, uncirculated examples are a different story. A coin that has never circulated and still has strong original golden luster can be worth more than face value. The fewer contact marks and imperfections the coin has, the more desirable it may be to collectors. Professionally graded examples in very high mint state grades can bring substantially higher prices than ordinary circulated coins. This is why you should carefully inspect the surface of your 2000D dollar. Look at Sacagawea's face, hair, shoulder, and clothing. Then examine the eagle on the reverse. Look for scratches, nicks, contact marks, discoloration, and signs of wear. A coin with sharp details and attractive original luster is generally more desirable than a heavily circulated example. Now let's talk about one of the most important features on this coin, the edge lettering. The 2000D Sacagawea Dollar has the date and mint mark on the edge rather than on the main faces. This means you need to turn the coin sideways and examine the entire edge. You should see the date, the D mint mark, and E pluribus unum. The edge is also where collectors can discover some of the most interesting varieties and errors. Some Sacagawea dollars have unusual edge lettering, including doubled or overlapping inscriptions, missing lettering, or other minting abnormalities. But be very careful here. A damaged coin can sometimes look like an error. A scratch, dent, flattened area, or alteration caused after the coin left the mint does not automatically make it valuable. One of the most famous varieties associated with the 2000 Sacagawea Dollar is the so-called Cheerios Dollar. These were special 2000p Sacagawea Dollars distributed in Cheerios cereal boxes as part of a promotional campaign. Some of these coins have a more detailed reverse design on the eagle's tail feathers than the standard issue. This is important because the famous Cheerios variety is associated with the Philadelphia Mint, meaning it is a 2000p variety, not the normal 2000D issue. So if you have a 2000D Sacagawea Dollar, don't assume that it is a Cheerios Dollar simply because it is from the year 2000. Another reason collectors examine early Sacagawea Dollars carefully is because the 2000 issue was the beginning of a completely new coin design. The mint wanted the coin to be distinctive, easy to recognize, and different from previous American dollars. The golden color, smooth edge appearance, and new Sacagawea portrait were all major parts of that effort. And here's an important piece of advice: never clean your 2000D Sacagawea Dollar. If your coin looks dirty, dark, or discolored, don't polish it and don't use chemicals. Cleaning can leave scratches and unnatural surfaces that can reduce collector appeal. Hold the coin by its edges and place it in a protective holder instead. So let's make the value guide simple. A normal circulated 2000D Sacagawea Dollar is generally worth about $1. A nice and circulated example can be worth a few dollars or more depending on grade and demand. High-grade certified examples can be worth substantially more, and genuine mint errors or recognized varieties can command much higher premiums. But remember, those exceptional prices apply to exceptional coins. They are not the normal value of every 2000D dollar. If you find a 2000D Sacagawea Dollar, start by checking the date and confirming the D mint mark. Then examine the condition. Next, inspect the edge lettering carefully. Look for anything unusual, but don't assume every mark is an error. If the coin looks exceptionally clean, has strong luster, or appears to have a genuine minting abnormality, consider having it examined by a reputable coin dealer or professional grading service. The 2000D Sacagawea Dollar may not make you rich just because it is the first year, but it is still a historically important coin and an excellent piece for a collection. It represents the beginning of one of America's most recognizable modern dollar series, and it introduced the world to the Sacagawea portrait and the golden dollar. So before you spend that 2000D Sacagawea Dollar, take a closer look. Check the date. Check the D mint mark. Study Sacagawea's portrait. Examine the bald eagle reverse. Look at the condition. And don't forget the edge. You may have an ordinary dollar, but you could also discover an interesting variety, a high-grade example, or a genuine mint error. Next up, the 2000p Sacagawea Dollar. If you have a $2,000 coin with a P mint mark, don't spend it before checking it carefully. This was the very first year of the Sacagawea Dollar, and the 2000p issue has a fascinating history, including one of the most famous modern coin varieties ever discovered. In this video, we are going to examine the coin's history, design, P mint mark, mintage, condition, the famous Cheerios Dollar variety, and the realistic market value of a normal 2000p Sacagawea Dollar today. The 2000p Sacagawea Dollar was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the P mint mark found on the edge of the coin. The obverse features the portrait of Sacagawea carrying her infant son, Jean-Baptiste. This portrait was designed by artist Glenna Goodacre and became the permanent obverse design for the Sacagawea and later Native American Dollar series. The obverse also features the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." Now let's look at the reverse. The 2000 reverse features a powerful American bald eagle flying through the air, surrounded by 17 stars. The 17 stars represent the states in the Union at the time of the Lewis and Clark expedition. The reverse also displays United States of America and $1. This eagle design remained on the coin through 2008. Before the United States Mint began changing the reverse design annually with the Native American Dollar series, the 2000p Sacagawea Dollar is instantly recognizable because of its golden color. But this is not a gold coin. The coin is made from a copper-based alloy containing copper, zinc, manganese, and nickel. It weighs approximately 8.1 grams and measures about 26.5 millimeters in diameter. The edge is especially important because the date, mint mark, and e pluribus unum are located around the edge instead of on the main faces of the coin. Now let's talk about production. The Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 767,140,000 regular 2000p Sacagawea Dollars. That's a huge number, so the ordinary 2000p Sacagawea Dollar is not rare simply because it is the first year. Millions of these coins still exist today. However, there is one very important reason collectors pay special attention to the 2000p issue: the famous Cheerios Dollar. The Cheerios Dollar is one of the most interesting stories in modern American coin collecting. Before the Sacagawea Dollar officially entered general circulation, the United States Mint partnered with General Mills for a promotional campaign. Approximately 10 million Cheerios boxes contained a Sacagawea Dollar or other promotional material, and a limited number of these dollars became known for a special reverse design. The important detail is that some of these early 2000p Sacagawea Dollars have enhanced details on the reverse, especially around the eagle's tail feathers. The so-called Cheerios Dollar is therefore not simply any 2000p Sacagawea Dollar found in an old cereal box. It has specific design characteristics that distinguish it from a normal circulation strike. This is where things get exciting for collectors. A normal 2000p Sacagawea Dollar may be worth around face value when circulated, but a genuine Cheerios Dollar can be worth significantly more. However, you should never assume that every 2000p dollar is a Cheerios Dollar. The variety must be identified by its specific reverse characteristics and, for serious valuation, professional authentication can be extremely helpful. So what is an ordinary 2000p Sacagawea Dollar worth today? If your coin has been circulated and shows scratches, contact marks, wear, or dull surfaces, its realistic value is generally around $1. Some attractive circulated examples may bring a small premium, but the majority of ordinary circulated 2000p dollars are not worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. Uncirculated examples can be worth more. If the coin has never circulated, still has strong original luster, and has very few contact marks, collectors may pay a premium. The exact price depends heavily on the grade. A professionally certified high-grade coin can be worth substantially more than an ordinary raw coin. This is why condition matters so much. Look carefully at Sacagawea's face, hair, shoulder, and clothing. Then examine the eagle on the reverse. A heavily scratched coin is generally less desirable than a sharp, lustrous example. If you believe you have an exceptionally high-grade coin, professional grading may help establish its condition and market value. Now let's talk about the edge. Turn your 2000p Sacagawea Dollar sideways and carefully inspect the entire edge. You should find the date, the P mint mark, and E pluribus unum. The edge lettering was applied separately from the main strike. And unusual edge lettering can sometimes indicate a variety or mint error. Look for missing letters, doubled lettering, unusual spacing, or other characteristics that appear different from a normal coin. But be careful because post-mint damage can sometimes create strange-looking edges. A coin that has been scratched, bent, damaged, or altered after leaving the mint is not automatically a valuable error. There are also other recognized errors from the Sacagawea Dollar series, including edge lettering errors. Some genuine mint errors can bring substantial premiums, but authentication is important before assuming that an unusual coin is valuable. Another important piece of advice is never clean your coin. If your 2000p Sacagawea Dollar is dirty or discolored, don't polish it and don't use chemicals. Cleaning can create scratches and permanently change the surface. Collectors generally prefer original surfaces, so leave the coin as you found it and store it safely in a protective holder. Now let's make the value guide simple. A normal circulated 2000p Sacagawea Dollar is generally worth about $1. An attractive uncirculated example can be worth several dollars or more depending on its grade. High-grade certified coins can bring substantially higher prices. And a genuine Cheerios Dollar, major mint error, or other recognized variety can be worth considerably more than a normal example. But remember one very important rule: don't believe every viral claim that says a 2000p Sacagawea Dollar is automatically worth thousands of dollars. Most examples are ordinary coins. The valuable ones have specific characteristics, exceptional condition, or authenticated varieties and errors. The difference between a $1 coin and a valuable collectible can come down to a tiny detail. If you have a 2000p Sacagawea Dollar, start by checking the date and confirming the P mint mark. Then examine the condition and the reverse eagle very carefully. Pay particular attention to the eagle's tail feathers if you suspect that you have a Cheerios Dollar. Next, inspect the edge lettering and look for genuine minting abnormalities if you think you may have a Cheerios Dollar or another valuable variety. Don't clean it and don't sell it based only on an online listing. Compare it with reliable reference images and consider professional authentication. A verified variety can be much more valuable than an ordinary example. The 2000p Sacagawea Dollar is special because it marks the beginning of a new chapter in American coinage. It introduced the public to the golden dollar and the Sacagawea portrait. And it also became connected to one of the most fascinating promotional coin stories in modern U.S. history. Even an ordinary example is an interesting piece of American numismatic history. So, the next time you find a 2000p Sacagawea Dollar, don't spend it without looking closely. Check the date, check the P mint mark, study the bald eagle, inspect those tail feathers, and examine the edge lettering. You might have a normal $1 coin, or you could discover something much more interesting. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to Coin Reveal USA for more American coin discoveries, rare varieties, mint errors, historical coins, and realistic coin values. We search for the details that most people overlook and reveal what makes these coins interesting to collectors. Thanks for watching Coin Reveal USA. Keep checking your coins, and remember, before you spend that dollar, always take a closer look.